Ginny Hubbard Morris's road to success began with a setback. Her father, Stanley Hubbard, asked her to temporarily work as the promotion manager of his Hubbard Broadcasting KSTP Channel 5 in 1985 until someone else could be hired permanently. But it morphed into a full-time job she held for more than 5 years. Then came the day when he pulled her aside and told her, some people are good at some things and not so good at other things.
So he kind of moved me aside without saying I was fired, but everybody in the building except for him knew that I was fired. So it was a kind of a, I can't complain, right? I still got a paycheck and I still had tremendous opportunity, but it was, when I look back on it, it was an awkward transition.
Morris worked in the company's community affairs area for a while and then was asked by her father to visit his AM radio station, KSTP 1500, to see what she might be able to do there. The year was 1990.
That is when I made the move to radio. The station had sort of languished for many, many years, and with the acceleration of FM taking off as an industry. And so I went out to the swamp, we called it, which is what Pat Royce and Joe Souchere referred to the marshy area around the transmitter facility, and that's where I fell absolutely head over heels in love with radio. We were able to kind of put that station back on the map with a great lineup of controversial and provocative talk show hosts, from Joe Souchere to Barbara Carlson to Don Vogel to our former governor Jesse Ventura, and on and on and on and on. How can you not love that?
Morris revitalized the station by turning it into the state's #1 talk radio outlet. That success earned her promotion to president and general manager of Hubbard's Twin Cities 3 radio stations in 1995. 5 years later, she was promoted again, this time to president of the newly formed Hubbard Radio Network, which was created to syndicate content produced in the Twin Cities and grow through acquisitions. Several transactions later, Hubbard Radio is now one of the nation's largest radio station owners, operating 41 stations in several markets. Most are considered the biggest players in their respected coverage areas, and the company's FM news station in Washington, D.C. ranks as the nation's highest revenue-producing station. Hubbard Radio also is generating healthy margins through these stations. Morris says because it understands what's most important to its audiences, feeling connected to what's going on locally. And this gets to one of her favorite accomplishments beyond AM 1500's turnaround, the idea to launch a female-targeted talk radio station in 2002 called My Talk 107.1.
Having kind of cut my teeth on talk radio in the radio business, I knew the power of spoken word radio, and I knew that I like to watch talk shows on TV, and I thought, well, why wouldn't a woman want to listen to people talk about stuff on the radio when men like to listen to sports and politics? So it's been a real experiment that took about a decade to find success.
Morris says she's learned such doggedness in pursuing something that ultimately proved successful has to also be kept in check. Her greatest challenge, she says, has been to know when to wave the white flag on things that aren't working.
I remember I had one show in particular years and years ago who finally I had to cancel and move on from. And years later I learned that the sales department referred to that particular show as Ginny's Vietnam.
But this is also part of the family business culture Morris has appreciated over the years, the ability to try new things, make mistakes, and learn from them. In fact, it is her family she credits most for her success.
The fact that my brothers and sisters and father and mother and I have been able to grow the radio company, along with all the terrific radio people that we work with in the radio company, that certainly will probably be a part of the mark that our generation leaves on the family business. And I'm just getting started, I hope.